Hey 6-1, you should be watching this video if you are the Giants. You will need a graphic organizer from the front cart. Feel free to pause the video anytime you need to so that you can write down your notes. We're going to get started. At the top where it says header, title, you need to write The Outer Planets Cornell. In the box underneath, there's a blank rectangle box. You need to write MS-ESS1-2. Develop and use a model to describe the rule of gravity in the motions within galaxies and the solar system. So you'll probably want to pause it so you can write all of that. The essential question: what characteristics do the gas giants have in common? And what are the main characteristics that distinguish each of the outer planets? So, in class, someone asked, what are characteristics? Characteristics are words that are used to describe something. So, if I was to describe a person, I might talk about their hair color or their eye color or their skin color or how tall or short they were, things like that. So as you are thinking about characteristics of these 4 planets that are called the outer planets, they're also called the gas giants. So what do they have in common, and then what's different about them so that we can tell like one from the other. On the back side of your paper, I have already written or typed out these 2 statements, and I just want you to think about them and see if you think they are true or false. It's okay if you get them wrong because that's what learning is all about. Okay. 7. All of the gas giants contain methane in their atmosphere. Do you think that's true or false? And 8. Jupiter is more than 10 times larger than Earth in diameter and 5 times farther from the Sun than the Earth. So do you think that's true or false? Okay, once you have that, then we're ready to get started, so flip your paper back over. The outer solar system. So what you need to know, some background information for you, is that there's the Sun, and then there are 4 rocky planets. They are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And then we get to the outer solar system, which is what you are studying. Beyond Mars stretches the outer solar system, where the 4 largest planets slowly orbit the Sun. These gas giants, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are made of hydrogen, helium, and other gases. They all have moons and rings. Oops, sorry. Jupiter. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun. It is the largest planet in the solar system and is more than 10 times larger than the Earth in diameter. Jupiter is 5 times farther from the Sun than Earth. Its rotation takes less than 10 hours to turn once on its axis, which creates fast winds and storms. Its atmosphere contains hydrogen, helium, sulfur, nitrogen, oxygen, ammonia, and methane. Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun and 10 times farther from it than Earth. Saturn takes 30 years to make 1 revolution around the Sun. It is a little smaller than Jupiter. Saturn's axis is tilted. Its atmosphere contains hydrogen, helium, sulfur, nitrogen, methane, and oxygen. Uranus. Uranus is about twice Saturn's distance from the Sun. The farther a planet is from the Sun, the more slowly it moves along its orbit. Its atmosphere contains methane. Neptune. Neptune orbits farther from the sun than Uranus, but its temperature is the same as Uranus because it is hotter inside. Its atmosphere contains methane. High in the atmosphere, clouds form. Neptune looks white because of the methane ice crystals. Here's a fun fact. The atmosphere of the gas giant planets cannot escape into space because the planets have very strong gravitational pulls. Alright, on the back side, you should find where I have already typed up quiz time and numbered 1 to 5. You're going to get 5 questions. They are multiple choice, so after I read the question, write the answer. You might want to pause it, and because I'll give you the answer right away. Okay? So here we go. Which planet takes 10 hours to rotate once on its axis? A. Jupiter, B. Saturn, C. Uranus, or D. Neptune? The answer is A. Jupiter. 2. Which 2 planets contain only methane in their atmosphere? A. Jupiter and Saturn, B. Saturn and Uranus, C. Neptune and Uranus, or D. Saturn and Neptune? The answer is C. Neptune and Uranus. 3. Which planet takes 30 years to make one full revolution around the Sun? A. Jupiter, B. Saturn, C. Uranus, or D. Neptune? The correct answer is B. Saturn. 4. Which planet looks white because of the methane ice crystals? A. Jupiter, B. Saturn, C. Uranus, or D. Neptune? The answer is D. Neptune. Last question. Which of the following is not a characteristic of the outer planets? A. Jupiter does not have rings. B. Saturn has no atmosphere. C. They all have moons. Or D. Neptune is cooler inside. The correct answer is D. Neptune is cooler inside. That is not a characteristic of the outer planets. Okay, we're going to go back to those first 2 true-false questions and see what you think. All of the gas giants contain methane in their atmosphere, so do you think that is true or false? It's true. All gas planets have traces of methane gas in their atmosphere. 8. Jupiter is more than 10 times larger than Earth in diameter and 5 times farther from the Sun than Earth. Do you think that's true or false? It's true. Jupiter is larger and further away from the Sun, and its rotation only takes 10 hours. Okay, I'm going to go back to the front side of your paper, and at the very bottom it says summary, and you're supposed to write a summary in 3 to 5 sentences. So, what characteristics do gas giants have in common? So I've given you a sentence starter there in the yellow. The outer planets all share in common, and then you can make a list of the things they have in common. The other question is, what are the main characteristics that distinguish each of the outer planets? So You could start by Jupiter is different from the other outer planets by, and then tell me why it's different. Saturn is different. Uranus is different. Neptune is different. So you should have all 4 planets described in there and what makes them unique. Okay. Once you have that finished, then you can take pictures of both sides of your paper and send it to me.